Hi, I'm Beth Hauser, and welcome to Hauser Housekeeping and Bethel Baskets channel, where you will always receive service from the heart of a servant. Welcome back to Hauser Housekeeping. I'm so glad you're here. While you're here, if you like the content, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and if you hit that notification bell, every time I put up something new, you'll be notified. I'm glad to have you here. Today, we are beginning a two-part series on mattresses. We're going to cover everything from types of mattresses, pros, cons, tips, strategies, even the three biggest enemies of mattresses. And I'm even going to teach you my mama's mantra. Now, part two, we're going to cover traditional mattresses. We're going to cover how to keep the bed area and the bed itself nice and clean and make your mattress last. We're going to learn how to tackle soils and things like that. In part one, we're going to cover water beds and mechanical beds, and we've got a lot to cover, so I'm going to jump right in. First of all, when I was doing my research for this series, I had no idea, but did you know that water beds were actually invented in the 1800s? You knew this, right? Thank God for encyclopedias. I had no idea. But let's get into the pros and cons. If you get yourself a waterbed, the first thing that I can list as a pro for waterbeds is they last forever. Longevity. Secondly, if someone happens to be bedfast for a particular reason, for any amount of time, waterbeds can help reduce the pressure against the body. So you'll want to check with your healthcare professional. Now, you want to do that whether you're looking at a waterbed, a mechanical bed, a traditional mattress and box springs, no matter what type of bed you're looking at, always check with your healthcare professional first, especially if you have issues with your spine or your joints, okay? Now, I have been told and I have experienced that some people with allergies do better with a waterbed because the mattress is not made of fabric. You're dealing with something that's not going to hold on to dust mites, dead skin cells, dust, pollens, allergens, all that stuff. So people with allergies have been known to do better with waterbeds. By their very nature, of course, they're moisture proof. So if you have a spill on a waterbed, about the only thing you're going to have to worry about other than just wiping off the mattress is spot treating and laundering your linens. Waterbeds do come on a pedestal, so there's no under the bed cleaning, and that's always a good thing. And they also come with a thermostat, so you can set the temperature of your bed anywhere where it's comfortable for you. Now, to get into the cons of these things, first and foremost, and it is so very important, folks, please be aware that these beds can be super heavy, okay? If you are renting, a lot of rental properties don't even allow water beds for this very purpose. These beds, depending on what they're made of and how big they are, they can weigh up to 2,000 pounds. So, especially if it's going upstairs, you definitely want to have a contractor come in and check the floor joists and make sure that they're going to stand up to the weight of it. All right. Now, if you're like me and you get a little bored with where your furniture is from time to time, you want to move it around, you're not going to be able to do that with a waterbed, okay? Because it's so heavy, wherever you put that sucker, that's where it's going to stay. Because in order to move it, you're going to have to completely drain it, take it apart, put it in the new spot, completely reassemble it, fill it back up, and then you have to wait for that thing to warm up. Trust me, I know this firsthand. You cannot just fill up a water bed and crawl into it and go to sleep that night because you're going to freeze to death. Now, the weight of these mattresses makes a couple of other things problematic. First of all, making the bed, because you're going to have to get a hold of the corner of that mattress, pull it back, wrap the corner of the sheet around it and tuck it under and lay it back down. And if you're a bit of a weenie like me, that can be problematic. Also, one of your regular household chores with keeping this bed clean is going to be more difficult. That being the space between the mattress and the frame. Once a month you want to get in there and vacuum that. And you're going to have to do this one-handed because you're going to have to move the mattress out of the way, and with the other hand take the hose to your vacuum cleaner and get down in there and clean that crevice out. So just be aware that those are going to be difficulties. And do yourself a favor. Wherever you put a waterbed, don't put it next to a wall, okay? You will curse yourself if you do. All right, now another thing you want to be aware of, unless you want an indoor water park, I wouldn't have pets up on it, okay? Now, I'm not certain about the newer beds, but I know my husband said he had to do this with his about once a year. I remembered having to do it more often with mine. And that is, these mattresses sometimes will have to be what's called burped. They will get an air pocket in them. Wherever that air pocket is, it's going to bubble up in the mattress. So you're not going to have a flat surface. And you're going to sleep to the sound of sloshing until you strip it down, get that air bubble over to the fill point, and burp that air bubble out of there, okay? And you might want to check with your electric company before you purchase a waterbed and find out about how much it's going to run you to run the heater on these things, especially if you like your room cold or if it's wintertime. But you still have to run the heater on a waterbed even in the summer because that water will get cold. It's one of those things that my mom likes to call, you never get it paid for. She feels the same way about laundry that has to be, clothing that has to be dry cleaned. She says you never get it paid for. So, you may have that feeling if you get a waterbed that you never get it paid for. So now, the care of these beds. Of course, like every other piece of furniture, you want to dust the bed weekly. You're also going to want to clean the mattress itself periodically. I would suggest that you do it monthly. More often if you have pets, say you have a cat that's declawed and it sleeps with you, you're going to want to do it more frequently. Check with your manufacturer's guidelines. Some of these beds require a vinyl cleaner, which you can usually get from the manufacturer or from the distributor. But you should be perfectly fine most of the time with just hot, soapy, antibacterial water on the mattress, all right? As always, dusting the bed weekly. You want to dust behind the bed when you're dusting and make sure that once a month you're getting that area between the pedestal and the wall, okay, and behind the bed. And that, like I said, that crevice between the mattress and the frame, you want to get in there at least monthly and clean that. So let's move on to mechanical beds, which, by the way, were also invented in the 1800s, And these beds, it's been fantastic what's happened with them. They've gone from hospital rooms to private bedrooms. They've gone from medical necessity to actually a luxury purchase nowadays. But there are some pros and cons to them that you need to be aware of as well. Pros, my gosh, it's virtually limitless, the settings on these things for comfort and for necessity. Some of them even have settings for firmness and for temperature. So you put all that together and man, that's pretty nice, right? So, and another thing, many companies are offering payment plans with these beds, which leads me to the cons. Folks, please be aware that these beds can be super expensive. So expensive, okay? just do your research. Comparison shop with these things, all right? Now, be aware, anytime you add mechanical parts and electrical parts, you're adding mechanical and electrical upkeep, you're adding mechanical and electrical repairs, possibly, and issues. So that's a potential problem. Also, because of the very nature of the bed, the bending and the flexing, over time, it's going to compromise the structure of that mattress. And even if these mattresses are made of some type of foam, please be aware, folks, they don't tell you this when you buy the beds. They don't even tell you this if you happen to buy a memory foam mattress cover for your traditional mattress. But please be aware, foam breaks down over time. All of it does. I know that they used it at NASA, but it still breaks down over time. It's not indestructible, okay? So before you go putting a lot of money into one of these mechanical beds, do your research, okay? Care of them. When you dust weekly, make sure that you are vacuuming any exposed mechanical and electrical parts, okay? That's part of that mechanical and electrical care I was telling you about. Always getting under your bed weekly, getting behind your bed. You want to vacuum the top of the mattress monthly. You want to vacuum every surface of that mattress at least quarterly, all right? And if possible, you want to flip and rotate that mattress routinely. And we're going to cover flipping and rotating mattresses in part 2. One final thing. Anytime you've got mechanical parts, be careful with children being around and keep your linens out of them, okay? Now, that's all for today. So I hope I gave you some tips that will help you in your choice of bed. Make sure you stay tuned for part 2. We're going to cover traditional mattress and box springs. We're going to cover pros, cons, tips, care, how to take care of stains, how to extend the life of your mattress, and we're going to cover the 3 biggest enemies of mattresses. All right. Thank you so much for coming by today. Thank you for your patience with me. Thank you for your time. Please be well. Take care of one another. And until I see you again, blessings from the Lord.
Safe inside your hand, you hold me. Pain and tribulations mold me. I try to run.